At the moment, hopping on, not on terrestrial radio. I'm just saying that just because I'm like, not like anyone driving in can hear us saying that at the moment. But we are live on our YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. I know it's last minute, so we probably don't have anyone tuning in just yet. But yes, our terrestrial radio is down. So now, at least for all of you guys that like to tune in, we are, we're here on our YouTube. So thank you for hanging out with us on this special YouTube Tuesday. Normally, we are live streaming every single Monday, but now we get to hang out with you guys on YouTube today at what is a very, very last minute. So I'm going to make sure I text my mother right now to tell her.
It's a good plan. It's a good plan. I should do the same for mine. But either way, just excited that we still get a chance to chat with the beautiful people still. I walked in and you were quite calm as I made the way over to the studio, and I walk in and I see the flashing lights, which obviously means that we are not on the air, and that always sends me into a tizzy, which I'm sure normally sends you into a tizzy, but you seem so calm.
Oh, yeah, because, I'm old, Paul, and I listen to our radio station on the drive home or drive in. So if it's not on, then I was already freaking out like 40 minutes ago on my drive, and I'm like, oh, it's not, we're not on radio, so I naturally had to ask Chaz, because there was a whole back thing where sometimes I forget to do something and then we're not on, and then so I thought I may have done that again, so I reached out to Chaz on Tai, who I know is always in studio early, and I'm like, are we off air? And then he's then went on to say, oh yes, because blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, cool, it's not my fault, so that's all that matters.
That is not on me. That's what
and
matters.
then I'm like, well, it's a good thing we have our YouTube channel to be able to hang out with everyone still. And that's the story of this morning. But it already feels like it's been kind of a wonky morning for us here because, so apparently our FM is up. So that's good. We are back on terrestrial radio. Thank you guys for everyone that's tuning in. I guess our FM station is up now, so that is a start for everyone driving in.
We apologize
for
our AM,
late.
I guess.
We were just indirectly getting people geared up yesterday when we were extremely late due to traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is about the time that we popped on and the people were able to hear our voices yesterday.
It's very strange.
So
it's the radio gods.
Yeah, we are just about on track from where we were yesterday on terrestrial radio. But for everyone tuning in, we got a special YouTube show going on right now because we weren't sure at the time what time we would be able to pop on air. And it already feels like a wonky morning. I should have known when I woke up this morning. I don't know. It was just one of those, I think it's partially the gloominess. Like there's no rain, but it's a little gloomy and everything else is, going on. But thank you for tuning in. I do want to, before we get into any other sports thing we need to talk about, I do need to make sure we start off the show, officially kick things off by saying a very happy birthday to one of my favorite people on the entire planet, my dad. Woo! Happy birthday to Mr. Darren Ugbayani. Darren Ugbayani in the house. He doesn't look a day over 40, so there you go.
Say,
he's
what's
like 40
the age
years
that
young.
we go? Because I couldn't go 21, couldn't go 25 because that's younger than you. So I wasn't sure. 40 is a perfect age.
I would say 45 because I'm a little bit too close to 40, so we'll go with 45.
You're still celebrating 25, as I'm celebrating 21 a few times over. What's Michael celebrating after yesterday? Happy birthday, Michael! Belated birthday, Michael! We love you.
Belated birthday to our Michael Escaro. Yes, it hit us, and
as soon as we got off the air, we're like, oh my God, it's Michael's birthday.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Happy belated birthday, Michael. We love you. It was yesterday, not today. Send your love and aloha to him.
Yeah, but yes, happy birthday today to my dad, Darren Ugbayani. And yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you for making me giving me the gift of gab, I guess you can say, because he has the gift of gab.
Thanks for being a yapper, Dad. That's what I just heard.
That's kind of like where I get it from, I guess you can say. My mom is a little more on the shy side until she knows you, and then she's like all the way
Honestly,
out there.
This
and
makes sense because I think about it. I love your mom. Your mom and I have clicked every single time we get the chance to chat at Sisterhood Social or honestly anywhere else.
Yeah.
My wife thinks your dad is the funniest person ever. And both of our personalities line up perfectly with each of your parents, where it's like, I can talk, but I'm also probably the more reserved of us, whereas Morg certainly is a little friendlier and a little more fun. Yes, she's awesome. It's very fun.
But see, my dad I talk about him having the gift of gab because my dad will easily go on stage and talk in front of people. Like,
all right, and then maybe that's where he and I...
Where he can talk, like, in person, obviously, but he is the one that is not, like, if you want to try to give my mom a microphone, it's not going to happen. But my dad is like,
no thanks.
My dad is like, oh, microphone, give me. He like, let's go.
He's never running from a karaoke night, is what you're saying.
Let me go on stage and start talking to people and start firing people up. Let's go. So,
God, I love it. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday again. 40. I got to go with 45. I think I turned 30.
That's good.
I turned 30 this year, so
right,
we're going to go
like
with
that.
45.
Do we put Michael at 25 and then I'm at 20? Well, Michael's talking about his back hurting. He might be at a 30 as well.
Yeah.
Oof.
He can't be that much older. That's what I told him. I was like, you're not even, legitimately, I'm like, you're not even 35
Part of our
yet, Michael.
calling
What's
card
going
is
on?
like, we're young. We're the young squad, you know? We gotta keep our calling card.
And Michael's Filipino, so you age slower. So I don't know why he's like all in pain and whatever. But anyways, welcome to the show. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you if you have been celebrating a birthday. Sunday was one of my good friends' birthday. Shout out May May. Yesterday, she was the one back when Travis and Taylor started dating. She was like, well, she finally has a real manly man. So that's about the extent of her sports knowledge is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And
all
then
she needs.
Yeah, and then yesterday, obviously, Michael Iscaro's birthday, and then today, Darren Ugbayani's birthday. So once again, happy birthday to everybody that has been celebrating in December for sure, and we hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you for tuning in. We'll get into a bunch of just a lot of stuff. I don't know. It's kind of, like I said, it's a weird, weathery, gloomy day. We are half on air, but then we're on a special YouTube channel, but we're just rolling with the punches as what we do here. We're in the world of sports. Anything can happen. And you know what? We're starting off this Tuesday just like that. Just anything happening. And here you go. Thank you for hanging out and partying, having a birthday party with us at this point. Celebrating multiple birthdays today. All right. Want to make sure we start things off here in terms of the sports world by saying yet another congratulations to Kansei Matsuzawa. The American Football Coaches Association teams came out, and no surprise, Kansei Matsuzawa finds himself on that as well. So All-American first team. He is the first player in program history to be named a consensus All-American, and that's being those main, like how we mentioned, Walter Camp first team. Yesterday was the Associated Press first team, and then today the AFCA first team, which takes us to our conversation yesterday. And all right, well, I guess they just wanted to give the Lou Groza to the guy with the short shorts and with the big brand, because Kansei is the consensus All-American first team for all of the major associations that released these All-American teams. And there you go. So once again, don't need the individual award like that to tell Kansei that he is the best kicker in the country. So shout out Kansei Matsuzawa, aka the Tokyo Toe. Tokyo Toe blend, by the way, at Honolulu Coffee Co. comes out in a couple of days. So check out hawaiisportsradio.com for all of the details and information about the official Kansei Matsuzawa Tokyo Toe blend, and coming out just in time for Christmas. So line up early at Honolulu Coffee Co., shop online, all of that good stuff. And yeah, Kansei. So it's one of those, like, not surprised, but not surprised, because he has just been, once again,
he's
phenomenal this entire year.
Yeah, he's been awesome this year, and my apologies for my somewhat perplexed face because I'm doing research as we are live on air here, but it continues what I did as I first woke up this morning, because I was curious, and this is something that I've continued my crusade on social media on, is I'm curious about the last consensus All-American kicker to not win the Lou Groza, because there's like there's this conversation, right, where deserving, blah, 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 and I find it interesting. I'm not trying to make a statement like Tate Sandell didn't deserve it, or that Kansei, I don't want anything to be misconstrued there, but It is interesting to me that, like, and by the way, for people who aren't sure when we're referring to consensus, there are 5 major outlets or 5 major All-America teams that the NCAA recognizes at the end of every year. So if you make it on 3 of those 5 or more, that means you are a consensus All-American. It's the average or whatever it may be. Still has a shot at unanimous, by the way, which would be insane. But nonetheless, I was just curious about the last time a consensus All-American kicker, first-team All-American kicker, didn't take home the Lou Groza Award. Because I'm like going through, and the most recent award winners are, the Jake Moody, and you get the Jose Baralgas or whatever, Baralgas, I don't know, the Miami guy a few years ago, and like all these different guys. And I'm like, okay, they all won the Lou Groza. I'm wondering if I got to go back to remember the Daniel Carlson, Matt Gay time as well. And even that, it looks like Matt Gay was the consensus All-America kicker that year. He's the one that won. So I think I'm going to have to go back even further. It seems like the first time in more than a decade. And selfishly, the secret between you, me, and all of our friends watching and listening, I kind of hope it's the first time that it ever happened, so that I can make the case where it was like, yeah, Kansei very much so deserved it. Once again, not a statement against Sandell, more so in favor of Kansei, because I'm glad that he continues to get his flowers from all of these major outlets. It means people are actually watching, and when I say people, I mean people who could help him further his career. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's also continuing with the NFL International, or has a chance with the NFL International pipeline as well.
Did last year's Lou Groza winner get on all the first team stuff? Because he was from a school that was like a G5 school. It wasn't a big brand school. That's why in my mind,
Kenneth Almendaris.
Yeah, like this year I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance. They don't always go for the big brand because that guy didn't come from one of the P5 schools. And then I didn't go in depth to like who he was up against. Maybe the other kickers he was up against didn't have as phenomenal of a year like a Tate Sandell. So, but I'm just curious because, yeah, it went to someone that was not from a P5 school or did not have the big logo in front of their name and yada, yada, yada. So, but nonetheless, Kansei Matsuzawa was able to, like you said, earn a consensus All-American honors. And, of course, Kansei, just like other accolades that have gone on this season, he joins former Rainbow Warrior great Jason Elam as the only 2 UH players named to the AFCA All-America First Team. Earlier this season, he broke Jason Elam's place-kicking record for consecutive field goals made and field goals in a single season, and then finished the regular season 25 of 26 in field goal attempts. AFCA, by the way, just to remind everyone, is the association that head coach Timmy Chang had earned the accolade of being the Region 5 Coach of the Year, which was the first time for a Hawaii coach. So I wanted to make sure we bring that throwback and give some flowers once again to head coach Timmy Chang. So, yep, 4 organizations so far: AFCA, Associated Press, CBS Sports, and Walter Camp for Kansei Matsuzawa and the first team honors, and then second team by other outlets, including The Athletic, Sports Illustrated, Sports Info Solutions, USA Today, and On3 as well.
It's an awesome year that gets everything that you could ask for except for the Lou Groza. It's been awesome. Once again, the consensus, it goes Walter Camp, AP, AFCA, FWAA, and I'm missing one. What's the last one? Football. I think it's oh gosh. See, now I had it too. It's right here, guys. Don't worry. So it's the Sporting News is the last one. Both of the Sporting News and the Football Writers Association of America, the FWAA, both of those will be announced, I think, by the end of this week, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll know one way or another how many. But Kansei, already a consensus All-American, the first in program history, continues a string of firsts, and very well deserving. The best story in America, the best story in the country, the best story in college sports this year.
Woohoo! Shout out to Kansei Matsuzawa, a.k.a. the Tokyo Toe. Make sure you can directly support Kansei Matsuzawa and his official T-shirts at tokyotoe.com. That's tokyotoe.com for your officially licensed through Kansei Matsuzawa merchandise and all of that stuff. And, of course, Kansei gets a cut of that if you want to directly support Kansei Matsuzawa. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
That's funny. I never got your list. It must have fallen out of the sleigh.
Wake up in the den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Oh man, that poor drunk Santa there.
Guy's having a rough night. Happens.
Hopefully Santa will be okay. Don't crash the sleigh into anything, Santa.
Oh gosh, call a driver.
Yeah, one of the elves can drive for
The
Santa.
elves
Just
absolutely
like hopping
can
in and out of
drive.
the chimney.
It's a responsibility
Yeah,
during this
yeah.
holiday season.
Yeah,
It's a great message for
everyone else. But yes, Santa, you're not immune from any of that. Having to obey the rules of the sky, Santa. Don't crash into any airplanes out there. By the way, that just reminds me of we were talking about. Sorry, we're gonna go off from sports for just a quick second.
No, heaven forbid.
Because we were talking about this last week or whatever, and talking about our favorite Christmas movies, and I just watched. So I've been having a really interesting Christmas time because I just watched, from a Christmas movie standpoint, I just watched Miracle on 34th Street. Again, the 90s version, because I told you guys that was one of my favorites Christmas movies, like true Christmas movies. It has to have a Christmas storyline. We kind of talked about that last week. Like, if we're going two categories, is it a Christmas movie with a full Christmas theme and storyline? And then there is there's just like a movie that takes place during Christmas, right? So things with a Christmas theme would be like stuff that has to deal with Santa or Rudolph or just the overall elves, all that kind of stuff. And so, Miracle on 34th Street, if we just don't lump those two categories together, or we just go true Christmas theme movies, is probably definitely my top 5. There is a case to be made for top 3 for Miracle on 34th Street, and I haven't watched it in a really long time. And I watched it for the first time yesterday, and I'm like, still awesome. I still very much, it's still held up. And it made me think of it because of the drunk Santa, because the movie kind of starts with the real Santa. It was like, it's not called Macy's in the show, but essentially the Macy's Day Parade, and the real Santa approaching the fake Santa that's prepared to be in the parade, but that fake Santa was drunk. And then it's like this started this whole thing, and then it just reminded me of that, because the fake Santa was drunk, just like that Santa that you just heard in the music.
That was so funny.
So
It sounds good.
It made me think about that, and yeah, the entire movie, I thought it was really written really well. But at the same time, my holiday season has also been taken up by, and I don't know, we kind of talked about this too, Paul. I think when we were talking about our scary movies during the Halloween season. And I brought up clowns, and you said how your good friend too is deathly afraid of clowns. So
it's horrible. It's so funny.
On HBO, there's a new series called Welcome to Derry, which is basically like the it's a chapter that is part of It. So it's part of the main franchise with the same, Pennywise villain.
Right.
But then there is all kinds of, I don't want to give away too much, but
yeah, spoiler warning.
It's really good, and yeah. First, I love scary movies, and I especially love scary movies that have really good storylines. And I thought Welcome to Derry, it was chef's kiss. It was a good amount of scary, and it's not necessarily, there's some gore, I guess, compared to other movies. It's really not that gory, but in case anyone's curious to watch, there is a little bit of gore, but the storyline and everything, the acting, Pennywise is just as scary as you can imagine. So yeah, my holiday movie watching that would normally be dedicated to Christmas movies has been dedicated to finishing up the first season of Welcome to Derry.
That's so funny.
But it's so good. It's so good. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. I kind of, after everything was over, I do what most people do. I go on Twitter and see what everyone else is saying. And yeah, everyone is in consensus that this is
Speaking of consensus,
this is one of the, it's really well done. The only thing I will say is that there is a tie-in, it eventually ties into the movies, the most recent movies, all of that stuff. So it actually, the series ties into the movies, so it's almost like watching an extended movie of the other movies that came out, the recent ones especially too. So it is kind of, so you're welcome for anyone that likes a spooky. It is only available though on HBO Max or whatever they call it now. HBO.
I think it's HBO Max because completely different tangent. Not really completely different, but kind of different tangent. You said HBO Max. I have recently taken notice how nice they are. I've been watching Worst Cooks in America. Have you ever watched that show?
No.
God, it's so funny. It's so good. First off, makes me feel a lot better about myself because I don't want to say I'm a bad chef. I'm actually pretty capable.
Yeah.
But it's also I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay shows, so I'm like, man, these people are good. I mean, I shout out to Megan, Chef Megan, who in case you missed it, you can go on our website and check out our Mana Wahine about her. She went on Hell's Kitchen. She's as badass as they come when it comes in the kitchen. But just in general, I always watch these shows and I'm like, man, I don't know if I really could do that, even with teaching. I'm watching these jabronis. Holy cow, they cannot do it, and they make me feel way better about myself. And I noticed that Hulu only has 5 of the seasons, and it's the most recent seasons.
Yeah.
It's 27, 29, 27, 20, whatever. So I was like, okay, I want to go back to the beginning and watch. HBO Max has it. So one, shout out to my sister. She's the reason we have HBO Max without commercials. Dope.
Hey.
Huge. Love that. Second, if you're looking for a show, it's funny. It's good time waster. So I don't really watch a ton of scary stuff. My scary stuff is Five Nights at Freddy's, the FNAF series. They just had the second FNAF movie come out. So there's my tie-in back to that for you.
Scary.
I mean, it's supposed to be
a good storyline.
Yeah,
so
it's supposed to be horror, but it's what I like about FNAF is more the lore stuff. I like being able to piece together the mystery and all of that. Where I'm a big old nerd about it. If you like FNAF,
welcome to Derry.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot and report back.
But have you watched the other It movies though?
No, I don't really care.
Okay, never mind.
You're
killing me.
It's just I don't know. It never tickled my fancy or scratched an itch in my brain for me. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's awesome." I was like, "Yeah, you guys enjoy." It's just how I always was.
Also, last thing on this subject, I remember when I went to go watch when I went to Nebraska and went to their football game, and then if you are an It fan, it freaks you out in the beginning because they have, I think it's the third, no, it's after they score their first touchdown of the game. They release red balloons.
All right, that's a little creepy.
But it's a lot of red balloons.
Right.
Which part of me, the side of me that does care about nature, I'm like, this doesn't even exactly seem eco-friendly because it's at least 5,000 red balloons that they just
all right. They
let
go
up
off
into
into the
air.
atmosphere
Yeah.
and then they're into space and we never see them again.
Yeah, so it is kind of interesting when you go to Nebraska and you're just like, ooh, look at all these red. If you guys are familiar with It, there's a whole red balloon means he's around, yada, yada, yada. And yeah. So, fun fact, but I recommend that if anyone likes the It movies or you just like spooky movies that has a storyline, that is how my holiday season has been going. A mix of Christmas movies and then Welcome to Derry. That has been awesome.
Oh, God, it's so
just
funny.
to give, it's pretty much like the songs I listen to and my Apple playlist where it's just I got some heavy metal to Taylor Swift to some classical sounding music to Jay-Z, and it's all over the place. Just whatever's good. I want to watch whatever is a good movie, listen to good music, all of that stuff. Anyways.
Soup du jour.
But yes, going back to consensus, I see Paul working very, very diligently there. I don't know if your notes are ready and you're prepared for me to kind of take it on over there.
Not quite yet. We're still going. It's funny. I still got 20 years worth of. I'm at Kai Forbath in 2009.
How about the last?
I know that Bjorn Merton in 1993 didn't win the Lou Groza, and he was the consensus first team. So it has happened before, which is unfortunate. But There are a few different.
Oh, but that's a long time ago. Oh, are you going way back and then coming?
So
more
I went to the start of the Lou Groza,
okay.
which was 1992, which Joe Allison of Memphis State, the big old Memphis State, took home consensus and whatever. But Judd Davis of Florida was the 93 Lou Groza winner who won it over Bjorn.
That was before you were born. It doesn't count.
I was going to say, it's not even while I was alive. The year that I was born, nobody was a consensus All-American for kicker. So
there you
tough
go.
scenes.
We'll go through it a little bit more. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, and I got word that we are officially back on both AM and FM. Woo! Welcome to the show. Sorry we were off air.
Let's talk some sports.
Yeah, we were off air on terrestrial radio, but we've been streaming live on YouTube just so that we didn't skip a beat. So we started off on YouTube only. Our FM station went up, and now I got word that our AM, so we're our full blown back on terrestrial radio. So thank you guys for tuning in. But we are doing a special YouTube live stream today just because, again, we weren't sure when we would get on air. So we're like, why not? We'll go chat with the beautiful people on YouTube. But we're going to take a break. So we'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and doing a special YouTube live stream on this Aloha Tuesday because we were down and off air on the terrestrial radio side. So if you're just tuning in on those platforms live or every weekday morning from 8 to 10, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. Or if you've been hanging out with us on YouTube, mahalo. Feel free to chime in on the YouTube chat. Or if you guys are out there, you can text us at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481 if you want to get in on any of the conversation. Again, thank you for hanging out with us. If, once again, you're just tuning in, it's a just a celebratory day today. We got a bunch of birthdays going on. Most importantly, my dad's birthday today, turning a doesn't look a day over 45 age this morning.
He looks great. Like,
so
that's a real thing.
So that's why I'm like, he looks about 45,
chuckling.
and so we'll just go with that. And by the way, I forgot to mention this as well. That happy birthday to this show. I guess you can kind of say that in a sense. So back when gosh, how old is it 3 years?
I don't know.
6 years?
Been a while. What are you counting back to?
How long I've been on air doing this show?
How long were you doing it without me?
All the years blend together, so that's why I'm like, what is
I feel that.
I want to say, okay, thank you for Twitter and my pin post.
Shout out Twitter.
So 2021 is my pin post that I've been doing the show, because I posted that I had just officially finished my first week of being on air. So I had tabbed, because I couldn't at one point in time remember when our exact first on air date was. I tabbed December 16th because I knew it was December. And so I tabbed December 16th as the first day that we were on air. It's not, but because it was, it coincided with my dad's birthday, it was close enough. I'm like, so I don't forget.
Close enough.
But then I forgot the year for a split second. So
it's okay. Dates are bigger than the actual
so
year
I told
itself.
myself, because I wouldn't forget December 16th, and that was, so I was
And
like,
you
all
didn't.
right, we're gonna make it on December 16th is the day that we first went on air, because it's close enough to the actual first day. But then for a split second there, I forgot the year. So happy birthday to this show.
Woo!
As well.
And all the beautiful people.
Back in 2021. So, man. 4 years. 4 years of doing this and talking to you guys. So, once again, we're celebrating a bunch of stuff today. And thank you, everyone, for if you've been listening since the beginning. That would be wild, unless you are my parents, obviously. But if you are anyone else that has been listening since that December time, even if it's any part of December in 2021, dang, like, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for continuing to listen. If you are still listening to this day, whether it's on demand or now how we have our YouTube show, we have come a long way. And yeah, that just hit me. I was like, yeah, happy birthday to this show. My goodness, it's been forever. Shout out to our Alan Mia. I know we rubbed him a little bit yesterday, but as he should. We gotta do that every once in a while. And
it's been a long time.
He was the one that was sitting across the way and got me to get on air and all of that stuff. So yeah, celebrating 4 years today of Wake Up in the Den on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, which is so wild. I still can't believe it's been that long. And once again, I can't believe I've been allowed to do this for that long. And so far, and yesterday was the first time I was ever late on the show.
Good toss in. Good toss in.
Well, because yesterday I was thinking about that. I went on my drive in. I'm like, I feel like this is the first time I'm ever going to be late for this show. And fortunately, it's not because of my doing.
Right. It's not your actual fault.
Even those mornings where, I accidentally press snooze on my alarm a little too often. And I'm like, rushing to get ready and rushing here, yada, yada, yada. I don't think I've ever actually been that late to the show. Like, I always at least get here 30 seconds at latest before, even without adding extra time. It's like always at least 30 seconds.
You are always here. I'll push it real close. When you were like, you're way ahead of me yesterday, I think my heart dropped further than it ever has, because I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Thankfully, our Chaz came to save the day.
Thankfully, we have the best people in the business to help us out all the time.
Man, but yeah, and so, 4 years of doing the show, and mahalo again to everybody that's tuning in and everyone that has come and hung out with us on YouTube as well. All right, I want to get back into some football conversation because I want to give you guys updates on that, that finicky thing that we like to call the transfer portal. Specifically in the Mountain West, though, because everyone, which I understand, freaking out about Jackson Harris entering the transfer portal, all of that stuff. Since then, there has been one more player, that's corner Ben Drake, that announced that he was entering the transfer portal as well. He came over here from Sierra College, which was the JUCO, and he actually redshirted in this season. So, you know what? Just discovered that maybe Hawaii's not the best fit for him, and we wish him all the best. So, again, Hawaii only having two players so far that have come out and announced that they are entering the transfer portal. Jackson Harris, which I know was a big topic last week. But other than that, just so far only 2. Hopefully it remains 2. But when you look at across the Mountain West Conference, I mean, that's relatively low in comparison to a lot of places. Air Force has 1. Now, I know Air Force is a little different, just like how they don't have NIL and all of that stuff because it's a service academy. They have 1 offensive lineman, a freshman in Sean Murphy, 6'4", 295. Feel free to come play over here in Hawaii, Sean Murphy. We could use some of the size. Come on over. Let's see. Boise State has 7. None that stand out to me entirely in terms of top players. But again, Boise State is moving on over to the Pac whatever. Next season, Colorado State, no surprise. They have 19 players hitting the transfer portal so far. And by the way, this all of this that I'm referencing is you can get it at mountainwestconnection.com. So shout out to the guys at Mountain West and Jack Thompson and Mike Whitman that have put together this easy to follow Mountain West transfer portal tracker for this cycle, 2025 and 26. But Colorado State, we know Jay Norvell got fired and they have since announced a new head coach as well. Colorado State, another team that is moving into the Pac, nothing. But 19 players, including their senior quarterback in Braden Fowler Nicolosi. Man, if there is ever a underachieving year, I feel like he is the first player. There's probably other ones, but considering how high he kind of ranked on some of the preseason lists, like, is that a stretch? He might have had one of the bigger underachieving years in that quarterback for Colorado State and Braden Fowler Nicolosi, because there was a lot of high praise for him following
stretch?
last.
No, I don't think so at all.
There was a lot of high praise for
nice,
him.
To be honest.
Yeah, last season they praised him a lot, as they should. He had a great year, and we talked about Colorado State's favorable schedule, but nonetheless a good year. I have to look back, and I know he was on at least the second team for all preseason Mountain West. I feel like it was Fowler Nicolosi and Maddox Matson or something that were kind of the top quarterbacks. And then so he is in the transfer portal as well. He can come on over too. We can always use more quarterbacks in the quarterback room. This is not me saying he's going to take over for Mike Alejado. I just like having quarterbacks and having depth in a lot of these positions. And he has size, so I'm but
I'll keep brother-in-law instead.
Yeah, but
I'm cool keeping brother-in-law instead.
What is Marmar?
Redshirt freshman, rising sophomore.
That's right.
He's going to transfer out. I would be shocked if he stays.
That's why I'm surprised that I haven't seen. Well, I don't. Maybe he just likes Hawaii.
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't. I don't think you have to enter your name in the portal yet, do you? I don't.
No. So this is the new year where it starts the one transfer window.
Right, in January,
yeah,
right?
So the transfer window for this upcoming college season is January 2nd through the 16th because they wanted to get away from the whole transferring before some of the New Year's Six Bowls and all that stuff. But at the same time, other players, and that's why I appreciated Jackson Harris, because at least Hawaii can game plan. I know a lot of people feel like, well, he should have stayed for the Hawaii Bowl, but I'm like, well, if he's looking out for his stock, doesn't want to get injured, and at the same time inform Hawaii so they can game plan without him.
They got plenty of time
for the Hawaii Bowl. I can't hold that against him. But officially, yes, the transfer portal window, to remind everyone, there is one. We talked about the transfer portal, yada, yada, yada. These are more of either the athletes or their representation coming out and saying that they intend to enter the transfer portal, because it is not officially open until January 2nd. So it's starting in 2026. You have this lone college football transfer window that is the January 2nd through the 16th. So yes.
So yeah, I would assume he probably, at least not he. I shouldn't say him specifically as if I've spoken to Marmar. I would assume any player who didn't have a massive role on this year's team, but also would like to transfer and potentially find a new home, but maybe has a chance at getting some time in the Hawaii Bowl, whether that is Marmar as a backup quarterback or, you have, I don't even know, backup wide receivers who they do get a look or whatever, and they might get some film where they can parlay that into whatever. So I don't know. I just kind of look at it like that. I'm excited for one more game of football.
I was going to say, This doesn't feel like one of those games where Mar will get a chance to go in.
I am more
Unless
so like, the doomsday
Things
scenario.
that we don't want to happen.
The doomsday scenario would be the only way. But the thing is, like, if you are a player on this roster, you have to prepare for every single situation, which is also part of the reason why Jackson Harris opts out, right? Because you have to prepare for the situation in which something bad does happen, and that's the last thing you want after what a phenomenal year he had. So, sucks. I get it by fans, but also it's a reasonable choice all around. I am curious who all enters the portal, because I know it won't just be 2.
Yeah, and all of the Colorado State people are clearly ready to be like, I'm available.
Yeah,
you can start reaching out to me.
Their coach was fired mid-season, and like it was kind of a year from wherever. Pick your spot. So I can understand why they might be ready to get up on out of there.
Yeah, on via Mountain West Connection, again, a shout out to these guys for making it very easy to kind of follow and understand. Out of all of the players, the 19 players so far for Colorado State that intend to enter the transfer portal, sophomore running back Javian Kennard is the only one that had some accolade this past season. So he made all Mountain West second team for punt return. So there you go, and take that how you must. Maybe he can come on down to Hawaii too. We'll take some of the top players for the Mountain West. Come play for the land of opportunity. Let's see. Fresno State has a pair of guys. No one that stands out. Of course, Hawaii with their Jackson Harris, who had all Mountain West first team. Nevada has 10 players, 2 of which earned, all Mountain West honorable mention. That is tight end Jet Carpenter. He was a grad transfer, and sophomore punter Bailey Ettridge. He made all Mountain West honorable mention. Again, 10 players from Nevada. New Mexico, no surprise here. Only 1 so far intends to enter the transfer portal. I mean, we were singing the praises, and we'll continue to do so because I think he deserves flowers as much as anybody with Jason Eck and what he has been able to do at New Mexico. So the linebacker Randolph Kapai is the lone person for New Mexico that announced an intent to enter the transfer portal. Again, this is not officially entered because that doesn't open until January 2nd, but these intentions have come out. San Diego State with just 3 so far. This guy's name is Batty. That's awesome.
Actually really funny.
He's a senior defensive end. His name is Jared Batty. Badie.
Hell yeah. Hopefully he's not batty at football.
Yeah, 6'3", 225 pounds. San Jose State has 4, one of which we had already talked about, who also made a lot of honors in terms of AP and everything like that, in wide receiver Danny Scudero for San Jose State. Again, all Mountain West first teamer. Kyrie Scholes, all Mountain West honorable mention, senior wide receiver. Also, so that's where we're talking about their top 2 receivers for San Jose State, looking at other places to go with their intent to transfer away from the Spartans. So 4 total for San Jose State. Those top 2 receivers, come on over. We want more. Everyone that has made any type of honorable mention or first team, any of the accolades for postseason awards in the Mountain West, I'm just going to keep saying, come on over to Hawaii. You want to come live out here? Let's go. UNLV, 0 so far. And
yeah,
Anthony Calandria, the guy that we tried to manifest like, oh yeah, no, P4, like they're going to want to come and get him, yada, yada, yada. Anthony Calandria, the quarterback that's Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year, who we tried to make a case for Micah Alihado going into the UNLV game,
and
that fell off. And it was Calandria's award to lose at that point, and he still continued to do great things until they played Boise State.
And what is it, Jaden Jet Thomas, their running back.
Yeah.
Both of them announced that they'll be returning for their senior years. So just when you think the Mountain West is losing all these top teams, no, kidding, guys. It was always going to be difficult again next year, and it's another reason why, if we want to get into that sometime, it's another reason why it is so important for Hawaii to continue to turn over every stone so that they can have as many resources as possible, because UNLV certainly has a few resources at their disposal right now, and I'm sure that helped make Calandria and Thomas's decision.
Exactly. Again, a big fat 0 so far for any intentions to enter the transfer portal out of UNLV. And this is kind of similar to what we're talking about with our UNLV guests when we were in Vegas, where And similar to what we talk about here in Hawaii when we try to get, the legislature and the government to have a little bit more support for Hawaii, especially when it comes to football, because it's a revenue generating sport where I think people in Las Vegas finally realize like, oh, this is really good when you have a football team that wins. Because if I remind everybody, up until, his name is escaping me, Barry Odom, up until Barry Odom took over, before that, UNLV had losing seasons. And I'm talking losing season. It felt like in Hawaii we had those few losing seasons, especially under Norm Chow, all of that stuff. But the drought of having a winning season for UNLV was substantially longer than what we had experienced here as University of Hawaii fans. So in Vegas, it was like, whatever. Like, no one really cares about college football, blah, blah, blah. Barry Odom comes in, turns around the program. They're able to have the success, make it to bowl games, make it to Mountain West Championship games. And all of a sudden, that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm sure, you have bigger businesses. Maybe the Fertitas stepped up again. MGM, they have all of those casinos that there's, Fertitas, not Fertatas. The Fertitas has stepped up. And now they probably have all those resources that are pumped in there to go to people like Anthony Calandria, because they're like, oh, this is really good when our home team is.
They're like, wow, I like watching this guy.
Wow, we get a lot more attention when our football team is good. Wow.
This helps all of us, and I like watching this guy play. Let's keep him.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to take a break. We're way up against the clock, but when we come back, we'll get you. There's a couple more schools for the Mountain West to get you caught up with any other players that have announced intention to enter the transfer portal. So we'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and a special live stream on our YouTube channel, on this Tuesday because we started off the show not being able to chat with all of you beautiful people that are tuning in live on terrestrial radio. But we are back on all fronts and still streaming live on our YouTube show. So thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. We've been kind of going through getting you guys transfer portal updates. I know the storyline last week was about Jackson Harris, his representation announcing his intent to enter the transfer portal. Again, just to remind everyone, the transfer portal is not officially open, so we can't expect any announcements to what Hawaii is able to obtain from the transfer portal until the window is closed. Again, the official transfer portal period is January 2nd through the 16th. So a lot of the announcement that has come out, it's just the intention to enter the transfer portal. And you know what? That might be a little note. If we're putting on our positive Paul hat on,
Correct.
Maybe, Jackson Harris's representation have already started to shop him around. And you know what? By the time the transfer portal opens, maybe he will change his mind and be like, nah, I want to stay here in Hawaii. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, that just because we announced it or it's been announced and we talked about Jackson Harris doesn't mean he is in and has gone anywhere yet. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. We're going to keep our positive Paul hat on until we can't any longer, until it is officially announced that he has chosen to go elsewhere. And even if he does, we wish him all the best. But before we went to break, we mentioned UNLV. 0 transfers have been announced so far. Again, still really early. We can anticipate these lists to grow, but you can go on mountainwestconnection.com. If you want to keep up to date, they have an ongoing tracker for this transfer portal cycle. Utah State, there has been 6 that announced intends to enter the transfer portal. 1 being an all Mountain West first team. I believe Paul brought this up the other day in Braden Pagan.
Yep.
I wanted. So there's I'm pretty sure that's a way a Filipino last name too. So I always want to say Pagan.
So I always think
but
of...
I'm pretty sure he's not Filipino, so it's Braden Pagan. But I'm like, Pagan?
I think of Angel Pagan of the of MLB fame.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
Typically, I don't know.
Yeah, Filipino, Spanish. They're all
I was going to
so
say they're a lot
same
closer to
thing.
each other than...
Same thing.
Also,
So I'm
isn't it
assuming
pagan?
this-
I don't know. It's some religious thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Either way,
I-
wide
yeah.
receiver, all Mountain West first team out of
I'm
Utah
sure
State.
sure he was making plenty of
Go to
people
the
say,
line
"Oh
enough
my God," from the plays he was making this year. You like that one? Boom.
Last but not least, Wyoming so far with 4, none of which had any postseason accolades or recognition from the Mountain West Conference. So there's your quick catch up. Again, this is via Mountain West Connection. You can go to mwcconnection.com or Google the Mountain West Transfer Portal Tracker, and then we'll continue to keep you guys updated. But we're going to take a break. We'll be back for hour number 2 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Yes, and we got our first set of chatters in our YouTube live chat. Yes, special live stream for YouTube today because we were off air for a little bit during the normal starting time for the show. Around 8. So we were off air on terrestrial radio. So we decided last minute to make sure we at least hop on YouTube so that there is we don't miss a beat, and we're back on it for the live part of it. But
rocking and rolling.
You guys will be able to watch on demand or listen on demand a little later this morning as well. But thank you for tuning in. If you are just chiming in here at the 9 a.m. hour, once again, a special YouTube Tuesday live stream. In the first hour, we talked a lot of college football. Want to make sure, if you guys haven't heard the news yet, that Kansei Matsuzawa just racking it up here. It came out this morning that Kansei has been recognized by the American Football Coaches Association and has made the All-American first team for the AFCA, and thus named Consensus All-American. Woo! Once again, Kansei Matsuzawa. But after we started talking about it, Paul had gone and has been jotting down notes, gone down the rabbit hole because we wanted to see when it has been, what years of the Lou Groza winner did not match up and was a consensus All-American, because clearly Tate Sandell, because now Kansei is the consensus All-American, that means the Lou Groza winner in Oklahoma's Tate Sandell is not. So
correct.
We wanted to look back, and Paul pretty much I know you guys couldn't tell, but he was working on that throughout the first hour.
Fervently writing down notes.
So, Paul, you can share what your quick research has discovered in terms of the consensus All-American matching up with the Lou Groza Award winner.
Quick is quite a way to put that. It's not unheard of, but it's certainly rare. About 1/3 of the time in the Lou Groza Awards history, it's gone to not the consensus All-American pick. It's 13 out of 35 times that the award has been given out now, including this year with Kansei Matsuzawa officially becoming a consensus All-American. And as we said in hour number 1, the first one in program history, which, by the way, in a program that includes names like Colt Brennan and Timmy Chang and Devon Bess and Al Noga and all of these different wonderful players through their history, for Kansei to be the first one ever is truly incredible. But no, it happened a lot more from 2000 to 2010. I was telling you about eight of those 10 years or 8 of those 11 years that it was given out. It actually the Lou Groza went to not the consensus first team All-America pick. The last 15 years, it's been a little bit more rare, including Kansei finishing second this year to Tate Sandell. This would just be the 4th time in the last 15 years that the consensus first-team All-American kicker did not take home the Lou Groza Award. The last time it happened was back in 2019 when Keith Duncan was the consensus All-American and Rodrigo Blankenship of Georgia, and obviously the goggles fame, was the one who ended up taking that home. Before that, it was Roberto Aguayo, who was at Florida State, who was the consensus All-American in 2014, but the Lou Groza Award winner in 2013. They gave it to somebody else the year that he was consensus All-American, and that went to a Florida school, or it went to Maryland, so still going up and up. So overall, and then before that, Josh Jasper back in 2010 lost the Lou Groza to Dan Bailey, the great Cowboys kicker, for a long time. He was with, actually, Oklahoma State, so he was a Cowboy for a long time.
Hey.
But yeah, so very rare. Kansei, if you feel like Kansei got robbed, you're not somebody who's crazy for that. And this is not me, once again, as I said in hour number 1, this is not me taking away from Tate Sandell, who had a phenomenal year, and had every right to the Lou Groza Award, and if he was a consensus All-American, I would not have a hard time seeing the reason for that either. But it is something where if you're like, man, Kansei really had a great year, you're not crazy. You are correct, and a lot of people also took notice of that.
I mean, that was why after just the Walter Camp Award that was announced or Walter Camp first team that was announced on Friday, that was when I started being like, wait a minute. He was first team Walter Camp and didn't win Lou Groza, because I know that is one of the quote unquote main ones. And Paul brought this up in the first hour, so I want to remind everyone again that's just tuning in, when we say consensus All-American player, there's basically 5 that are part of the NCAA's annual consensus team. So Walter Camp, Associated Press, which is what we had announced this yesterday as well, and then Friday, and then the American Football Coaches Association, the one that came out today. So that's 3 out of the 5. And then we'll see what goes on with the Sporting News and Football Writers Association of America, which should be announced in the coming days. So far, Kansei 3 out of the 5, hence making him a consensus All-American.
Technically, Kansei's got 3 of 3 right now.
True, because it's the first 3. So
as of now, Kansei's unanimous in my mind.
He clinched it early. Yeah, he clinched it early. He got all of them right now.
Do the right thing, Football Writers Association of America, and the other one that I get, the Sporting News, because I keep wanting to call it the Sporting Tribune. It's not. Those are our friends, not the official people who the NCAA recognizes. Do the right thing.
Yeah. But again, so those are the main ones, quote unquote, the main ones. And then there are clearly other publications that do their own. So last week it was announced like CBS Sports had him on the first team, but that is not grouped into the consensus, the NCAA consensus team.
Same with The Athletic and him being the second team.
So he's second team. Also, Sports Illustrated has him as the second team. Sports Info Solutions, USA Today, and On3 all have them as the second team. But you know what? They don't know ball, because the main ones have them.
I was going to say, the ones who are accredited and recognized by the NCAA do have them as first team. So take that. Kidding.
Which is funny, because even though we very much love The Athletic.
I was going to say, I love The Athletic. I love all of those.
On3.
CBS.
On3 is...
Yeah, On3 does like a fine job with high school stuff. Yeah. CBS puts out like a ton of content. Like, I appreciate all their content, but also at the same time, anytime I'm gonna do that.
Anytime we can just do that, then it's fine. It's fine.
Thumb on the nose.
Fine. But again, shout out to Kansei Matsuzawa, and we will see what happens in the Hawaii Bowl. Can't come soon enough. Next week, Wednesday already. Paul,
it's weird because it feels
Sheraton Hawaii Bowl between Hawaii and Cal. Once again, special YouTube is going to be on next week, Wednesday, for Christmas Eve, and Kyle Galdera is planning to join us in studio. So make sure you guys kind of mark that on there, that you can tune into our YouTube live stream for a special Christmas Eve edition next week, Wednesday, to get you geared up and ready for the Hawaii Bowl later on that afternoon at 3:00 p.m. But it's
just weird. It both feels like it's still a mile away, and yet at the same time, it feels like we are on a crash course for it to be here in the blink of an eye. Because we got the text about media avails starting this week and so on and so forth. I'm pumped for it. It's going to be a fun time for football fans, for Hawaii fans, for people who are prideful about the talent that Hawaii produces, for people who really love Timmy Chang, for people who really hope to see this Rainbow Warrior team finish out the year the best that they have in Lord knows how long, half a decade plus. I mean, 9 wins is not anything to sneeze at. Like, that's a legitimate great year and something that you can build on. And I know that bowl games have started to go by the wayside and all these, like, blah, 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 these different things. The bowl games only go by the wayside if you let them. Mm-hmm. Bowl games don't matter if you sit there and say that they don't matter. You know what I appreciate about the Pop-Tarts Bowl? It's the fact that both programs really dove in head first to it, and, like, they're with the gimmick. It's still fun, and it's not that they aren't recognizing that they can compete and they're going to compete at the game, but this is supposed to be fun. This is a payoff for the playoff. It's a payoff in general for all the hard work that you put in through the year, where Yeah, okay, whatever. You didn't make the 12-team national tournament. By the way, I have takes on that we want. If we want to talk about that sometime today, the national media is driving me crazy with these G5 takes, and it started to leak into the March Madness stuff about. Did you see Joel Klatt's take on that?
I don't want to.
It was horrible. But in general, I don't want to get on that right now. But just in general, bowl games still can matter because they should matter. They should matter to you. It's big to Hawaii. The people of Hawaii care. They go out. They want to see good football. And it's cool when the programs really, dive head first into the culture of the Hawaii Bowl, of being in Hawaii for a week or whatever it is. And more than ever, I mean, last year we were celebrating having Ken Niumatalolo and all these connections on the San Jose staff.
Yeah.
Woo! This is literally the Hawaiiest bowl of Hawaii Bowl history. Have fun with things. I think that's my biggest thing, and my biggest complaint is people just don't have fun with stuff anymore. It's okay to enjoy this. It's okay to say this rocks. We're going to have fun. There's a bunch of fun storylines. There are a bunch of people we love seeing compete. And it doesn't matter that it's not Alabama versus Oklahoma or Ohio State, Michigan, or whatever it may be. Funny enough, it's still fun and good football that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, football is football. Like, high-level football is high-level football. I mean, shoot, the second half of the Open Division State Championship was a wild ride. Like, any level of football, if it's going to be entertaining, like, my goodness.
If you asked all these talking media heads for the big national outlets, they would have told you that Campbell Kamehameha isn't even worth playing. What's the point of those two playing? They would never have a chance to win a state title in the Open.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Kahuku they have to compete against every year.
Or it would have just been, Kamehameha is the private school with more resources.
Yeah,
they're going to win.
Of course.
They're going to beat Campbell.
It's as simple as that. That's all you need to do for that. And fans don't really care. They were hoping to see St. Louis Kahuku again for the 407th time again in the state championship game this year, because those are the best two programs every year.
Even though it seemed like this Open Division state championship had more fans in attendance than last year's state championship between Kahuku and St. Louis.
The game of the year.
Yeah.
And not even like close. This is
Again,
incredible.
this is us
facetiously
putting it into
taking
perspective to what the national media has been saying about, because I'm sure a lot of you guys that are listening are like, yeah, that's ridiculous. How dare you say that about Campbell? I'm like, that's exactly, and we agree. That's why we're like, that's why you have to play the games. That's why we always say stuff, or at least I do anyways, about on paper, this is what you expect. But the game isn't played on paper, and that's 100% true in all levels of sports.
Sorry to get on my soapbox, but
that's what makes sports happen. And that's why whenever people ask me why I love sports, I'm like, it is because I'm a girl, and girls love reality TV, and sports is the best reality TV because you do not know what's going to happen, and anybody at any given day can just play out of their minds and have these Cinderella stories or this photo finish. Like, I'm getting chicken skin just talking about it, and that's what makes it so
because
fun.
You like sports, actually.
It's called entertainment, and
who would have ever seen this coming?
That's why we love movies, when you don't know what's going to happen at the end.
Oh, God.
But no, Cal and Hawaii should be, this is pretty awesome, and like kind of the little invisible strings that are tying all together, because the last time that Hawaii was not, we know they got invited. I know our texter pointed that out. I know they got invited also, and they played in the New Mexico Bowl, which they had won. But the last time Hawaii played in the Hawaii Bowl back in 2019, when Nick Rolovich was still the head coach, was against BYU. And on the Coach Rolo side, it was interesting because he talked about this in the media availability that we played for you guys last week, where his final game as a Rainbow Warrior was against BYU, and it was like awesome game. And then his final time coaching in Hawaii was when he coached against BYU in that Hawaii Bowl, the Zach Wilson helicopter game, when the game was saved, that insane tackle, fumble into the end zone, Hawaii recovers, and then Hawaii goes on to win the Hawaii Bowl. I mean, and now that's like the next time that Hawaii is once again playing in the Hawaii Bowl. Has this matchup with Nick Rolovich on the other side. You have a local quarterback at the helm for Cal, two lefty quarterbacks. So you have Micah Alihado, who is right now Hawaii's quarterback because he plays for Hawaii, but from here, has all the family ties here. Coaching staff, especially on the Hawaii side, riddled, has former players that used to bully Nick Rolovich when he was a quarterback here. So it is pretty cool that since 2019, now once again Hawaii being in the Hawaii Bowl, we get a matchup like this, because that was peak Hawaii Bowl, and what lives rent free in my head was that last time they played in Aloha Stadium against BYU. Helicopter tackle to Zach Wilson, and every time it pops up on my feed, I mean, I shared it with you, Paul. I was like, oh, popped up in my feed. Let me share this with Paul again, because Zach Wilson got drafted by the Jets after that. And so,
Yes, he did. He also plays for the Dolphins now. Thank God.
So it is pretty fun to think about. Now, when we look at the futures market, in case anyone is interested, let's see how much, because we're just over a week away from game time. So let's see how much this fluctuates. So we're throwing it into the universe right now. Odds makers have this as a very, very close game. Cal coming in as just the 1.5 point favorite to the Rainbow Warriors, and the Rainbow Warriors plus 105 on the money line right now. Total set at 54.5. So take that how you must. So a very close game. I mean, if the odds makers, how they tend to be every now and again, if this is the game we're going to get where it is a 2-point margin, please,
I'm
please,
here for
Christmas football gods, give this game to us, because once again, I throw that out there, and I use this term very loosely, as you guys know, because you got to play the game. On paper, this is set to be a very good, evenly matched game, even despite Jackson Harris not being in there, because fortunately for Hawaii, they got a lot of darn good receivers elsewhere as well. So the Hawaii's loaded at the wide receiver core. We saw some of the up-and-comers have breakthrough games as well, like your Tama Uiliata, like your Carson Pupunu. I mean, he could come up big in his final game, right? So Nick Senecal could finally have his major breakthrough here, that this year it seems like it went to Jackson Harris.
It'd be real nice for him to close out his college career that way.
Yeah, you just never and then clearly there's always Pafenle Ashlock as well. So despite not being able to have Jackson Harris, Hawaii is loaded with the wide receiver core, and we always say this, as long as Michael Alihado is out there and good to go,
I feel pretty good about our
happen.
shot. Yeah. I feel pretty good about our shot. And realistically speaking, I feel pretty good about our shot regardless of game and regardless of circumstance whenever you're at home with this coaching staff. I think, to their credit, they've done enough to prove that they make it difficult to play here regardless of who you are. If you're a P4 opponent, if you're a G5 opponent, if you're, UCLA rebuilding, if you're a quality squad in the Mountain West, it's tough to play in the islands. And this is a pseudo home game. Not even a pseudo home game. This is a home game for Hawaii. So I don't know. I'm pumped for it because this team, especially, both the coaches and the players, have given me all the confidence in the world that they will be competitive at the very least. And that's realistically, I know we want to win and all that stuff, and I do think we can win. But I do look at what just happened to Boise State against Washington.
Whew.
And it's another year where Boise State cannot put up any sort of fight in the bowl game, it seems like. And this is like frustration from their fans that I've started to see. I just want to be competitive in this, where if it's back and forth and you're throwing haymakers the entire time, like, just give us a fun, exciting game back and forth. Don't let it be this. I mean, Boise State, I think, threw 5 interceptions in that game, something like that. It was a brutal day. It was not great. They went to their backup quarterback. He somehow had a worse day than the starting quarterback. It's the last impact that you want.
No, and hence why they said adieu to the LA Bowl. So
yeah, they
that
said
was the
thanks,
final,
but no thanks anymore.
38-10 in UW's favor, by the way, in case anybody missed it. Yeah, it wasn't any other. For the
You
majority of
didn't
the game,
miss much.
it felt like it was like 30-3. It basically like the Chicago Bears score over the Cleveland Browns this past weekend.
True.
Yeah. Again, it feels nice to be happy about it because Dylan Gabriel's not playing, so I'm like, ended you, Cleveland Browns. Just because it was because Dylan Gabriel's not playing, that's why the Chicago Bears was like, you know what, we won't hurt Kool-Aid's feelings at all if we just annihilate the Cleveland Browns, But anyways, we got to take a break. When we come back, we had a couple of interesting text messages that came in that I want to get into. So when we come back, we'll get into those on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and a special Tuesday live stream. Here we are. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you guys can chime in on the live chat, or you can text us at 808-888-KG1. That's 808-888-5481. Alex, I think this was back earlier when I was talking about the reality TV, because Alex in Adelaide saying sports is unscripted theater to me. Exactly. And that's why and then everyone wants to see the underdog story. I mean, man, the Rocky movies, everyone seemed to hate that when it comes to an underdog movie, right? Like, man, sports, underdog, winning against the Russian. Rocky the movies was just apparently horrible because every single movie was about, every single movie of that series of movies in Rocky would...
Rocky sucks, Rudy sucks, every March Madness Cinderella story sucks, George Mason, George Washington.
Yeah.
We've got... we could go down the list. I mean, nobody remembers Boise State's win all those years ago in the BCS playoffs. Famously, all of these are forgotten.
Well, I'm just talking about actual movies, because there's a reason why those types of movies are successful, because people like to see the underdog
those are
come
only
out
just
from
movies,
behind and win, like Rocky, where it's like every single movie, what is it, like 5 movies in that entire franchise, and it's like everyone is about him coming, being the underdog and winning, and then people came back for more to watch it. And then, like you mentioned, Rudy is kind of... But
very famously, all of these people are, hated underdogs, and these are not true stories, not based on any true stories whatsoever, nothing in truth whatsoever. There's never actually been a little guy. David versus Goliath. David actually dies. Fun fact for you: Goliath. They open up the Colosseum and Goliath just eats him whole. It's the first thing that happens. It's a safety issue, actually. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes.
That's why it's tricky.
Once again, if you can't tell, I'm being as facetious as possible.
Yes, Alex, we all love the sports as unscripted theater, but actually scripted stuff. People love movies that have storylines of underdogs. Even if it's not a sports-related movie, you want the hero that is going up against the big-time villain that's stronger than them, even if it's the fantasy world. I don't know, Lord of the Rings. They go, you have the hobbits that essentially rise to glory.
Famously.
You know what I mean? People love these stories of the underdog story. And in real life, we know that now, as much as I love our Rainbow Warriors, if they would have to play Ohio State, that would definitely be a long shot, but I'm still paid to see that game because what if something happens? And that is what makes it awesome to watch and everything like that. Anyways, like I said, I don't want to go too much further on the diatribe.
Don't get me riled.
All right, we want to
again.
get to some of the text message. Let's see. I think this was earlier when we were talking about some of the NIL stuff. So it says, San Diego State is raising its athletic fee from $580 to $840 annually. That's a 45% jump.
I'll believe you.
Last raised 2019. I think it's only a matter of time before UH has to raise its fee from $100. Last raised in 2011. Hard to believe. Wow, it's 14 years ago. Especially if there is no help from legislature. I'm actually surprised that it hasn't gone up more than that. Honestly, $100 is very minimal in my opinion for a Division I level. And granted, I know not every student goes to games, but the students that do, they get there's ways for the students to take advantage of getting their money's worth, because they give away free t-shirts at some of the games. The students get free tickets, right? So it's not they're paying this money and they won't get anything in return, because I can understand pushing back on that is oh, well, why am I paying? Just like when we talk about the legislature being asked to contribute $5 million in NIL, where it's taxpayers are well, what do we get out of it? Those that are not sports fans, obviously. So, but I'm $100, it hasn't been raised. I'm genuinely surprised. I do think they should raise that. Honestly, they need to raise that before they come around and ask the taxpayers for even more money. Because like I said, the students get free tickets. Every once in a while, they can get free T-shirts, towel. Like, there's ways to get your money's worth when you're a student at the University of Hawaii and to be able to take advantage of all of this. So thanks for bringing that up. I thought it 2011. Hello, inflation. Like, can we raise that a little bit more?
I mean, we have had multiple times that the Lou Groza Award has not gone to the consensus kickers since then. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that back up. But no, it's a really good point. Also, I'm just going to believe you at the 45% jump. I have not taken a math class in far too long, so I'm not doing quick math on that one. But in general, I think that's a very fair way to think, where if you do raise especially in this world where you are trying to offer more and more in terms of both the experience to the athletes, it'd be smart to raise both the fee while, I mean, they're going to try and get help from the legislature. If it's not this year, they'll repitch it the year after that. Like, there will be more and more, but you can't just wait for that. You need to, and we've talked about this before. It was something we talked about a lot with Craig Angelis, is that he and his staff, they did a nice job unturning every stone and seeing, all right, how can we make a little extra cash here? How can we, pick up on the margins? And that's one little thing that starts to add up pretty quickly, especially when you think about the overall number.
Yeah, especially if Hawaii is successful in like bringing in the bigger crowds, like say volleyball. I mean, I don't know how many tickets they give out to students for volleyball, or say if men's basketball continues on this way that they're going and is having a winning Big West Conference season, right? Like, more students will want to come out to the Stan Sheriff Center. And like a lower level ticket, where I believe that's where the student section is like $30 at least. So if you go to a few games, like I said, you make up your money's worth. And then if you went out to football, same thing. So yeah, I agree with you. Thanks for texting that in. I'm kind of curious. Maybe we can get Matt Elliott on the show either like first thing in the new year or to end off this year. And we got to make sure to put that in our list of questions about if there's any thought about raising the. And I know this would be more of a President Wendy Hensel decision and not a Matt Elliott decision, but he would be the one to potentially suggest it to President Wendy Hensel, because this is like the entirety. Every student pays it regardless if you go to games or not, or if you care about sports or not. It's just in there. So yeah, but $580 for another state school that is San Diego State compared to $100 that hasn't been raised, and to jump up $840. I don't agree with putting it that high for UH athletics fee, but it definitely needs to go up.
Definitely
to something
can change.
Than to 2011 if it's been that long, especially as well. So thanks for texting that in and making us aware of that. We'll put it on the list of questions to potentially bring up to the athletics director or to the powers that be. We got another text as well. Let's see. Speaking of Hawaii, NIL and transfer portal, have either of you read Lee Cataluna's article from Sunday on Civil Beat? Curious to know your thoughts. I did skim through it, honestly, and I kind of skimmed through it during the break a little bit. I think, so if anyone missed it, it's a column that is titled Selling Out on College Sports in the New Career is the New Career Plan. Sadly, a good college education is succumbing to fast money and superficial celebrity. I think it's fair. I mean, a lot of the times, and the good thing is she points out in here about a lot of the changing landscape has nothing to do and is no fault to the University of Hawaii and everything like that. So I do like that she points that out, because it's true. And we talk about it all the time that Hawaii's just trying to keep up, and UH Athletics reaching out to the legislature is just, Hawaii's just trying to keep up to what the changing landscape is. So I thought her article, especially if there are people that read this that don't keep up with sports and everything happening right now and all of that stuff, like, I get it. And she points out that, all of those essentially like glory times when it was just about the sports were awesome. Even pointing out like the Eva Beach team in 2005 and so many others. Let's see. She says, but we are in a new era where Hawaii lawmakers are being asked to hand over $5 million so that the University of Hawaii can pay student athletes with taxpayer money to play for the university, and where local businesses are being encouraged to make individual deals with athletes to promote their products. Scrappy is no longer valued. Scrappy is for scrubs. I can appreciate that line, because it kind of hits home with what it feels like right now, the unfortunate side of college athletics. She goes on in this column to say the new pay-for-play era is not the fault, here is what I mentioned, of UH or Hawaii Athletics or the Hawaii legislature. They're all in the game, but not making the rules. The NCAA, we know, settled the lawsuit brought by several collegiate athletes to be making money off their athletic performances and popularity and not share any of that with them. And she does admit that that is reasonable, something that we've mentioned on this show. I thought if the NCAA just dropped the whole you could genuinely make money off your name, image, and likeness, we wouldn't be in this situation. There would still be under the table back channel payments, but that's been around in college sports since the beginning of the time. But at least it would be still more hush hush. But if players could recognize, like, oh, I can make money if I play better, if I go out there and market myself and go to these businesses and do stuff with my social media or my YouTube channel that would allow me to make money off of my name, image, and likeness, I thought that would have been very reasonable if they had just let that happen. But no, the NCAA wanted to keep the lid on that. I always refer back to that Florida State kicker who now has a successful YouTube channel destroying. He had to choose between kicking for Florida State or continuing his YouTube channel. This is pre this era that we're in, and he chose his YouTube, and fortunately, he's very successful in it. But
does he still have eligibility left?
Yeah, right.
Why can't he just sue?
That's true.
I know a place that needs a kicker.
He probably is just like, it's not even worth it because he makes millions from his YouTube channel.
No.
But in the same time, that shouldn't have been an issue.
Yes.
He makes his money off his name, image, and likeness. That has nothing to do with
legitimately his name, image, and likeness.
Nothing to do with the brand of the school, right? Like, or his playing ability. It was literally separate. Let's see. She goes on to give more backstory about paying schools directly, sell their autographs, yada, yada, yada. People worried about selling out back in the day. No one wanted to be accused of doing something solely for money and not because there was a deeper, heartfelt, or hard-earned connection to the work. Now selling out is a career plan. Putting a price tag on one's endorsement is seen as savvy, not slimy. Now, word for word, I don't agree with that because I honestly, like we just mentioned, if it's genuinely your name, image, and likeness, I think you should be allowed to sell yourself, essentially, if it makes sense for a brand. But this whole pay for play, like, to me, that's not slimy. I think that is business savvy. Like we said, Caitlin Clark, like, that's the epitome
Correct.
of NIL. She was a good basketball player, but she sold products, and that's how she made money for it. It's called what we see in professional sports and how they market products, and LeBron James. And
I think my issue is that it's more so it rewards you for your talent. Like that's the real NIL is supposed to reward talented players who have put in this work and now are stars, and so that the NCAA, while they were profiting off of these athletes could still profit themselves. They could go make their media deals. They could go have their social media be an endorsement farm and whatever it may be. And that part of it could be professional, but it was never supposed to be pay for play. It was always supposed to remain so that if you paid players directly, that was a violation because this is college athletics. They are there for the education. Well, the benefits surrounding the education are wonderful, and that's where they should be able to get their money from. But it should have never been directly paying, because then it did get into an issue where now, and can I just be honest? Can we just speak frankly here? We're all friends, right? Bad players get money.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of players who don't deserve money, who get money, or who hold programs hostage for money, because that's just the world now, and it's because it is pay for play. If it wasn't that, if there were still rules, if you could still be like, no, you cannot pay directly player to player, and if you do, you know what you're going to get? The ban hammer, the death penalty. When programs were scared of that, you should have that level so that you can take away, and so that players have to benefit from what they do themselves, the work they put in themselves, and then it's not asking all these taxpayer dollars. It's just simple to me. Bad players shouldn't get money. Good players should get money from endorsements, not because they're good players, because if they're that good of a player, they'll get paid by going professional. That's how I feel. And it's funny because I want them to be paid.
I just want them, again, to be able to, like, I think the highest level for if you are just on the team should, like, I thought the
You
house
should be
I thought
on the
house
team and
settlement,
get a scholarship. That's the most.
I thought the house settlement was fair in that you're on the team, you get a free education. I'm like, you know
Huge.
what? That's cool. Like,
That's life-changing
Yeah,
for
like-
so many people.
everyone, there's just roster limits now, but everyone and everyone's not owed a scholarship. We let us remind everyone just because you're on the team. So when we start seeing scholarship
No,
announcements,
but you have the ability to give out.
yeah. So every single player on the team is eligible to get a scholarship. Now, if the university can afford it, is a separate story. But and then you bring up how bad players get money. So the more and more this drags on, the more I actually think about it, and the more I am. And I know I might get flack for this, so bear with me as I talk you through. The more I am kind of siding, and I'm glad you bring it up about bad players getting money, the more I am siding with the concerns of Representative Capella in that the taxpayers are essentially paying a salary to players that they have no idea on what they are going to use. And we kind of brought this up yesterday where we talked about Fernando Mendoza, where you're like, okay, this gentleman is actually doing good things with the money that he is.
Somebody I feel
that he
good
is
about the money
receiving.
going to.
But that's not everybody. Like, we don't, and the players, they can spend their money.
Diego Pavia.
Yeah, they can spend their money however they want, essentially. So these are
Absolutely.
taxpayers' money that are going to the players. Like, if you're telling me $5 million now, like, is going to provide scholarships for every single person on the roster, I can feel better about that instead of this is just their paycheck that they're getting. Because then now you get into the situation where it does feel kind of like, because again, this is not professional sports. Your professional sports team is owned by a bajillionaire that has made his money in other forms of businesses,
Well,
so
I
they can pay.
suppose that's the question then, though.
Yeah,
Because
they
what do
can
we
pay the
always
thing.
say is that UH is our professional team here. I think that's the lost in translation part.
But again, not everybody is a sports.
I totally hear you.
fan.
I totally hear you. But you can't market yourself as the professional
I
team
know.
then. And that's that's the disconnect that you're having
But
now
this is
with
where this
the
is my whole
islands.
problem of everything that's going on is that they need to figure something out, because once again, if you're telling me my scholarship is going to, and every person on the football team gets a scholarship, then I'm like, perfect. At least I know they're going to use it. They don't have to pay for school. They're getting an education. Hopefully, in turn, it'll make them better for society. But if you're telling me you're going to write a check to a really good football player, now I don't think these are the type of players that our coaching staff goes out and gets. But all right, this player is just going to go spend money at, like, you know, getting drunk on the weekends every time. You know what I mean? Like, again, let's talk through this, where that's where it is going, where if you're owned specifically by, like in professional sports, owned by one owner, whatever, like, that's your owner's loss. And so that's where it gets really tricky with the taxpayer side of things, because with everything else going on, or if you said the $5 million goes to more of the amenities that go to student athletes and benefits all the student athletes, like I know they announced capital improvement and everything like that. It's like, all right, yeah, that's like capital improvement makes, when recruits come in, makes everything a lot nicer, then that's fine too, because it goes to the greater good of overall everyone gets to use the resources, instead of let me personally write this check to somebody that I have no idea how they're going to use the money. And again, like, I
get
know,
it. But for people with that perspective, by the way, you have to be okay with Hawaii falling by the wayside. It's just the truth.
no, I know, but that's what I mean. This is every single taxpayer that.
But what I'm saying is every single
everyone-
taxpayer needs to be cool with that then.
And I'm sure majority of the taxpayers
That's
are
fine.
probably fine. That's where I mean, where it's like they have no idea.
But then you can't.
What is going
But then you
on.
can't have the complaints. Like, people need to understand both sides of that.
But there needs to be more of an action. And again, this is maybe just earmarking it differently. So now whoever the powers that be within the department, you're telling me they can't go out and then you need to find better salespeople. Go out and find $5 million from private businesses to fund the $5 million that
I'm
you
sure
need.
they've tried. Like, the thing is, Hawaii is stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's
Yes.
correct in the Lee Cataluna article where it's just you can make your point, But the fact is that Hawaii will suffer. UH itself will suffer because of that. And if you're okay with that, then that's fine.
I mean, I don't think anyone's okay with that per se. Like I said, I'm very adamant about supporting the University of Hawaii. I just think the earmarking of the support should go, because right now every single person on the football team does not necessarily get a scholarship. So why not use that portion to give every single student athlete?
Lie to me about how they earmark it anyway.
That's fine.
Like people.
That's fine. But if you're telling,
I don't want to be lied to.
I hate to break it to you, Paul, but yes, you're already lied to every day.
But that's the thing is like you're like, oh, it's earmarked differently. So you're fine being lied to if they just tell you differently?
I mean, I don't have any way to prove that they lied to me.
So,
but if you're saying the $5 million, it goes to paying for scholarship. Again, every single person gets a scholarship, or every single student athlete gets 3 meals a day, 365-ish years, and then the other money that you can get from private businesses can go towards your NIL type of thing.
Absolutely fine. Does not change anything of what we've said.
Yeah. Versus me personally writing a check to an athlete.
So do you know how much of your percentage of how much of the $5 million is your percentage of tax dollars?
A little bit.
Okay. But how much? So how do we know how much of it's going to each person? Like that's the whole breakdown of it, because people are always like, I don't want my tax money going to this, but we don't know what our tax money goes to. It just goes to the budget each year, and then we're like, oh well, this much percentage goes to this much and this much. Well, I'm actually giving 33 cents to how much that UH is giving, and blah, blah, blah.
But they openly are asking taxpayers to pay the salaries of student athletes.
I'd rather them do that than be like, hey, pay the taxes and then just do it anyway.
But again, this is the problem, and once again, if it happens, I'm not going to be like, oh, they shouldn't do that. I'm just trying to show, my point I'm getting at is how icky and how awful this like world we're living in, where you are essentially asking taxpayers to pay, because your taxes go to making sure the roads are good. You pay salaries for people like police officers, for firefighters. People, when you need them, are going to come and help you, right? Like they're essentially, if you're ever in trouble, they're going to come and save your life and all of that stuff. And they risk their lives, which is, again, worth it 100%. But this is where it's like, all right, let me, kind of like how I feel with the politicians giving themselves a raise. It's like, I feel like taxpayers should approve those politicians, the council members, getting a raise, because what did you do for me? Like, nothing. So,
but we just talked about how the athletes and good athletes being here does do something for Hawaii and eventually brings back those dollars and does put the money back. So and they are asking. That's the whole point. But you
just said the junk ones get money too.
Yeah, and then you said before that it's on the coaches to assess it so that they don't bring in junk players, which is why you take care of who you hire as the AD, so you know who you're hiring as the coaches. Like they need to just all be on the same page.
Yes.
I think the whole thing here is it sucks, and it always has sucked.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can either acknowledge that it sucks and be like, okay, we can try and play the game, or you can say, this sucks, and then sit there as everybody else passes you by, and then it still sucks for you. So, those are the two options. And once again, it's a rock and a hard place. Sorry.
I mean, it's similar to like when I think about in professional sports and a lot of the pushback, as it should be, when taxpayers are, I mean, this isn't the best example because it can be used for other things and yada, yada, yada. But like when there's a lot of pushback about, like in Vegas, right? When the taxpayers are asked to build the new baseball stadium for the formerly Oakland A's. So similar to where we see in the landscape, where you have a professional sports team that is asking for like taxpayer money to fund these things that necessarily aren't a necessity, I guess what I'm getting at. When it comes to the other people that are paid by taxpayer dollars are based on necessity when it comes to your first responders and all of that stuff. And then on the flip side, it's like, well, because again, you guys know I've been an advocate on we need to support the University of Hawaii because, it's not like you need to explain to me the benefit and the bring back of when Hawaii is good. This is just me playing devil's advocate, where it's like, all right, well, how much of this is the necessity per se that taxpayer dollars and tax-paying people here in Hawaii
Well, famously,
can feel like I'm paying the salary of just an athlete who could just, and again, get injured and are guaranteed that money. And it is not a necessity to the livelihood of the everyday person, similar to a firefighter and a police officer, and making sure our roads are not with potholes.
famously,
all
we've
that
never
stuff.
wasted any tax dollars out here, especially on a rail.
Anywhere.
Especially on a rail that's still not that great.
Hey, people are using it now, though.
And so many people complained about that too.
We're talking about salaries
Great.
being paid.
You're not gonna get me here.
I know. I'm not trying to get you. I'm not trying to get you. I'm not trying to change your mind. Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate because this is just the world we live in. The person
it
brought
is
up
what it is.
the person brought up the Lee Cataluna article and says, like, it's not like $5 million is not a big chunk of the state's $20 million or $20 billion budget, but it could do more, or you could directly help more student athletes in terms of, all right, let's just make sure every single athlete is on scholarship. Every single athlete at least gets fed 3 meals a day at minimum, yada, yada, yada. They can go to the weight room and get a banana and have soap in the bathrooms.
You guys sound like boomers. What a insane thing.
It's just reality. All right. On that note, now we can take a break.
I was gonna say.
We'll be right back to close it out here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and a special YouTube live stream. Closing it out here. We went way too back and forth on that conversation. Again,
What else were we talking about today?
I'm just playing devil's advocate. And thanks to our texter who brought up the Lee Cataluna article. You are to blame for a long stand. No, but again, I think that's part of the good reason or good things on talk radio is to try to give different perspectives on everything going on. And all of that to say this could have been avoided if they just allowed student athletes to quite literally make money off of their name, image, and likeness back then. And by back then, I don't even mean that long ago, like 6 years ago, when social media especially started taking over and these kids could make money off their Instagrams and YouTube channels and all of that stuff. They just allowed that to happen. We could potentially have not been in this situation because then, your Livy Duns, for example, could have easily just continued to make her money on Instagram, and LSU gymnastics, I'm sure, didn't pay out that much, but
the fact of the matter is it never needed to get to be this point. And the fact of the matter is that, and this continues even so now, is that programs, people, entities, organizations, whatever, those who look ahead and try and get ahead of issues typically do. And those who don't suddenly fall into the disaster of everything else. And that's what we've seen with the NCAA. It's not that this wasn't foretold. It wasn't that this wasn't foreseen. It wasn't that people weren't screaming for years. Hey, guys, maybe take a look at this. The dam just broke.
Yeah.
And, well, now
and
now
even
we're
if
here.
it was the rev share, because even back when people were complaining when players first start, NFL caliber players, when they first started opting out of the, that's where we go back to the meaningless bowl games, because there were things where it's like, yeah, it wasn't worth the sacrifice of getting injured in this bowl game for their NFL
for the
career.
NFL guys.
No, but that's what I mean. But like if there was rev share back then, like, hey, if you played in this extra bowl game, so there's all these things that they could have done, and it's like, just kidding, and now the floodgates are open, and now Hawaii is asking, like, the
This goes back to where I get pissed off about we're paying bad players or average players in terms of, I'm fine with NFL players sitting out because they have a 10 to 15 year career to worry about.
Yeah.
I don't care about I don't care about your payday next year.
And this came up where it's a separate deal with NIL, where I know people were upset about paying a player and then they leave. So it's the same with taxpayer dollars and stuff like that. Don't come at me, everybody. Again, just wanted to throw
Who doesn't want to invest in UH?
Other scenarios.
Everybody share. Clip it. Kidding.
Yeah, clearly.
Kidding.
All right. Anyways, we got to go. For Paul Brecht, I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani. Mahalo for listening and watching. It's been Wake Up in the Den. Bye.